Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Nguyen.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Tom King. I write Batman Bitch, and this is Bat Force Radio.
All right, welcome to Bat Force Radio, the Batman/DC podcast with no limits, bringing you another classic review episode. Let's get the panel out of the way. I got the Grumpler from New York.
Yo.
The Dope Knight himself, Everything Batman, Dunk Dave up in upstate New York.
What's goody?
Got Teasus over in Jersey.
Blib.
Grandpa Batman over in Lawnmower Land, Texas.
Lawnmower? Is that what you said?
Well, everything's longer in Texas.
I like lawnmower. Yeah.
Yeah, Robin Cross up in Canada.
Amadeus. Oh no, that was last week.
And Bat Force Tom over in sunny California.
We have the best pizza here.
Man, I tell you, man, like with this panel, we grind out and cover everything when we do classic reviews. Tonight, one of my personal favorites again, I think Scott Snyder's second best Batman story ever for me personally is Endgame by Scott Snyder, penciled by Greg Capullo, inks by Danny Mickey, and colors by FCO Placencia. And yeah, this is a good one. Our theory was that, I think was that what was intended, but they wanted him to do an origin story for the 75th anniversary in the middle. I think something like that, but
it worked out well having the space in between too, because then it gave some time. It didn't feel like Joker was just right back after Endgame. Or
how long was it? Like about 15 or 16
years.
months, right?
it was a long time. I mean, I know it's one of Grumps' favorite stories, but it did carry on.
He actually had plans to very early on at some cons. He was saying how he wanted to do. It wasn't necessarily going to always be a 0 year, but he wanted to do the Riddler right after Joker.
Yeah.
And I remember him pitching it as he was going to do it like Riddler was making traps like Jigsaw from Saw.
Yeah.
But I guess it was too much, and so they kind of dialed it back, and then they just turned it into 0 year.
That sucks. That would have been fucking awesome. He kind of does do that in the video games. The Riddle, to get the Riddle trophies. It's kind of has a Saw like thing going on.
It might be why they told him not to do it for the comics, maybe.
And originally, Endgame was going to be the end of Scott and Greg's run. But then when they decided that it was going to extend past that, they just changed up the ending a little bit so it wasn't.
And then they really upped it up for super heavy. Yeah.
They were just making too much goddamn money.
Yeah. All right, Endgame's a good one. So we open up in the Gotham Royal Theater.
Love that first panel right there, man.
And I love the attention to detail when it comes to architecture and all sorts of things with Greg.
I remember when, Greg, I think he teased this on his Twitter.
Yeah.
Kind of a close-up. And then when I saw it in print for the first time, I was like, holy shit. I mean, just his, him and Danny Mickey's details and the curvature and all that. I mean, that right there, that first panel is just a work of art itself, man.
That's some good brisket right there. Boy.
That's some good. That's some good.
Bruce Wayne invested.
Now, okay, hey. This is one thing I noticed because I put on my readers.
Hey.
See, we're on page one, folks. Page one. That's how thorough we are.
Settle in.
In the middle, above the stage, in the top, is that an owl in the center of the main stage?
Oh, no, you didn't.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
I got my little readers on.
Yeah, it looks like the Tootsie Pop owl or whatever that old school owl with the big eye.
Actually I'm actually on a digital copy to
zooming
do
in,
this, so
boy.
I'll zoom in here.
Give it that
For
little zoom
shame.
in. Oh. Nice, boy.
I'm gonna say it's an owl.
Where is it?
It definitely looks like it could be. I can't conclusively say it's not, so we'll go with it is.
I'll say why not.
Oh, shit. That's nice.
Why not?
Why not? It's an owl.
It's an owl. Oh, shit. Bruce Wayne invested in the Gotham Royal.
Investigating how much money's being spent.
Yeah,
it
because they had
kinda
gone
looks
over
like-
budget.
And the architect or the designer was like, he was spending a lot of money because he wanted this special harness to bring down this suit of armor where it actually looks like a god floating down from the stage.
Mm.
Yeah, where Apollo was descending.
Mm.
He wanted the people to actually see a god coming down to save the day.
And then we look over Gotham's version of Central Park, where everything is pretty much smoked out, and reporters are starting to believe that it was a chemical attack. We got a reporter right there looking a little April O'Neil-ish. It's quite nice with the red hair.
Now is that Anderson Cooper?
Yeah.
Yep.
It really does look like it.
Anderson Cooper with Bruce Wayne's face.
So where's Chris Cuomo? It's right, running around.
He's in the backyard.
In the backyard, running around naked. And then we got Bats in the old Justice Buster, right?
Yeah, and it's a cool idea when we find out that the gas was actually harmless, and it was just actually Bruce's plan for emptying out that section of the city, getting everyone to get the fuck out.
Yeah, otherwise there'll be a lot of damage.
Big frat.
People will complain. Seems like Bruce is having a nightmare, and they're in like some kind of strange post-apocalyptic urban war with what appears to be aliens, and we got Duke and Bluebird, and we're just he wakes up with Alfred. They're talking with Julia Pennyworth, who I kind of miss actually. I kind of like Julia Pennyworth.
Yeah, she was fun. She originated, I think she showed up first. Well, her first appearance was in this run, but it was in the issue that was a preview of Batman Eternal.
Shit, I gotta cash that one in, man. Fucking.
So for anyone that didn't read Batman Eternal, so Julia had shown up, if I remember correctly, to help Alfred recover and sort of do Alfred's job.
Yeah.
After what Hush had done to
Oh
Alfred.
yeah, Hush fucked him up.
Batman
With that
Eternal.
syringe.
Yeah.
And then
So Bruce keeps having these dreams of like his death as a lingering side effect of the Scarecrow toxin that he had in previous issues. So that's why he's having this dream of like an apocalyptic world where he's fighting alongside Bluebird, and looks like who else is that?
Signal?
Lark. Somebody named Lark. Could be the Signal, but and then he dies.
Oh,
And he keeps having these dreams every time he falls asleep like that.
I don't know why he calls it a Cassandra strain of fear toxin, but I thought that was interesting. Like why it was named. I don't remember why it was named Cassandra. I don't know what the reference is. But I do like Old Wayne Tower on the 13th floor. I guess they're not superstitious anymore, right? Because
with an owl.
Yeah, the owl and the I guess a bunch of daggers and swords, and I love those seats that
The shattered owl mask is in there too. The Court of Owls mask.
in the same case.
And then no, it's on the a page or two later.
Oh, okay. I love those seats Greg was drawing at the time. Those futuristic, high-tech seats. I thought that was pretty cool.
He's really good at like design like that.
Yeah.
Vehicles and space and architectural shit. He's really good at that.
Yeah, and they're all talking, and all of a sudden, Julia sees something coming, and boom, Wonder Woman flies right through the window, attacking Bruce. Flies him out of there. All right. And while they're flying, what does Bruce put on her head, on the left and right side of her head?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is, but
looks like Mentos.
The fresh maker. But it gets him, buys him enough time to assess the situation and direct Alfred.
And then he puts something else on her. It's like a cord or a
Yeah.
string. I don't know what it is, but he
That's
does
later.
explain
he says
it.
it's called the Bind of Veils. So he had spent a long time hunting it down on like the black market of magical artifacts.
Mm.
So it was made by the same guy that created Diana's lasso, but it's the opposite.
Yeah, so she's kind of seeing a lie.
I'm the only one wondering how he survived getting his face smashed into the fucking.
No, you're not.
drywall.
I was wondering that too.
And how he got the belt.
He just
Carry on.
always has it on. It's his regular belt.
Well, when he gets smashed, apparently he has it in his hand. And where did that come from? I don't know. Just
No, because you see his two hands while she's flying right through him.
And there's a panel where you see him taking it out of it looks like a compartment of the utility belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Batman, bro.
Yeah, always prepared. And,
Always
prepared.
So he tells Alfred to enact Plan Fenrir. So Fenrir is a giant wolf from Norse mythology who killed Odin during Ragnarok, and not to be confused with Fenris, who is a member of Darkthrone. And only Tom and I
Or
know
not
what that
to be
means.
confused with Fenway, which I think is a ballpark in Chicago.
Boston.
Yeah,
Boston, right?
Green Monster.
Just kidding. Just kidding. To a
You
Boston
guys read
fan.
this page and how he didn't really defeat Diana. He just kind of tricked her.
Yeah, she sees a lie, what she wanted to see, a lie.
Yeah,
Did you guys get that the first time, or did it take a couple of rereads to kind of get that?
I only got it because he says he had to make her see a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then he explains what the Bind of Veils is.
And I don't know why Batman talks to himself to explain everything during all that. I'm like, you don't need to write all that. I mean, but I remember back in the
we wouldn't know what's going on.
Yeah, back in the day, I actually asked Scott that, and he was very nice to explain it. So, kudos to our best friend Scott Snyder.
And then this part with the Flash is interesting. When the Flash is attacking the Justice Buster, and it seems like he has some kind of battering device that reacts that fast.
Yeah, it's like it's automatically programmed.
Yeah, it's a super fast processor that so he puts out that one battering and it maps Barry's movements. And yeah, it's all moving. It's all sort of automated and moves so fast that Bruce doesn't even know when it's happening.
Yeah.
By the time he knows what's happening, it's all over. And he basically pulled a Looney Tunes move on the Flash. He just squirts some stuff on the ground and he goes sliding across it.
I wish there was a sound effect I went to that squirt.
It's cool like because he can barely get 2 words out before it's all. I think he says.
It's like an
run red.
It's like an antibody. This battering thing, just it's defense, and you don't even know what's happening. Frictionless.
I like how he's got a nice little unique thing for every JLA member.
Yeah, like bubblegum for Aquaman.
Yeah, just like yeah. Well, that was it's sort of a ShamWow that he uses on Aquaman because it's super absorbent.
I love how Aquaman's still the butt of so many jokes that all it takes is. I like what Bat says too. He says something that I really thought was interesting and funny. Something about that what Arthur doesn't understand is there's no honor in a street fight, and he just like squirts that shit on him. And like I guess what is it the moisture that his body secretes or whatever. Adds to the firmness of the material that holds him there.
Yeah, it's basically going to dehydrate him.
Yeah,
if he keeps struggling.
So that's
turn into a fish taco.
A bad one.
Yeah.
And Bats is asking each member why are they doing this, who's behind it, and then Soups comes out of nowhere and just blasts a Justice Buster through Gotham's theater. So now we're going back. Justice Buster vs. Soups, very DKR-esque.
So now we're seeing that God actually come down.
Yeah, and it's a cool little callback there when we see that Apollo armor.
Yeah, I thought the same thing with the armor. And then Bats starts to finally realize that it seems as if the Joker's behind it. And then Bruce says, Clark says, and no one's going to save you this time. Like, that was just pretty So like with the Joker toxins, like how could? Oh, it's because your allies attack. You attack your
friends.
allies, your friends first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's part of the theme that Scott explained for the difference between Death of the Family and Endgame, whereas in Death of the Family, Joker was coming from that angle of love, where he was trying to show Batman that he wanted to make him stronger and that they needed each other. And when Batman rejected him in that, now he's coming at him from the side of hatred. So now he's turning his friends against him.
This is the breakup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
This is pretty sweet. We cut over to Bats going at it with Killer Croc.
And this is another one of those dream sequences he keeps having.
And he has like these hybrids of people and crocodiles trying to drag Bruce down into whatever body of water he's in.
Oh man, you guys are just gonna glaze over that sick ass cover of Superman with a Joker smile and the blood on his hands.
The covers for this series they are awesome.
Yeah,
that specific Superman one, and then the last panel on the previous issue where he's got a Joker smile.
Hey, this ain't the Superman Force, man.
What I don't understand
This
is
ain't the Super Force. You get that shit out of here.
Why are the other Justice League members not attacking each other?
It's not programmed to make them go after him, I guess. I don't know. There's
It's like how zombies don't eat other zombies.
Well, he modified the virus, so...
Yeah, I guess it's
I
just
thought
so
he
you go after.
tailored it for each member.
Yeah,
You know what?
I
Let's
believe
fucking
so.
call this guy right now. Scott, what the fuck?
And
It's probably because everyone has the virus, and they're probably just prone to just.
they all hate... No,
Yeah, if
they
you
all
got the
like-
virus, you don't attack people with the virus. You attack people that don't have the virus. Come on, it's Walking Dead 101.
Let's take that.
We'll go... That is a good point. And so Bruce is... they're going at it in the theater. And then... Why does it go all red all of a sudden? What's up?
Because he's got the red kryptonite.
Yeah, the little we forget what he calls them, little red stars.
Microscopic red suns.
Right. Out of the shield of the crest of the shield. See, that's pretty... I wish the actual Justice Buster came with all these different things. That would be pretty fucking sick. There's another DKR nod when he's punching Soups, swinging right across him. But then punching him through the fucking concrete.
And it's cool that Bruce learns a mistake that he made in the preparations with this suit, because he made it with all of the Justice League members in mind as he knows them. So he prepped it for Superman fighting the way he knows him to fight. And when it's sort of too late, he realizes that, well, I didn't prepare it for a Superman who's not going to hold back and is going to go for the kill.
Rookie mistake.
Yep.
That is true. And I think this is a nice little Man of Steel nod, maybe, when the heat vision is going through the buildings and they start toppling. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, maybe. And
See, buildings get destroyed in comics too.
Yep.
I mean,
nobody complaining about that.
nobody
Scott Snyder's
complained about
canceled.
that.
Superman with a bloody Joker smile looks pretty cool.
yeah, and he takes them up in the air, where the Justice Buster's pretty much dismantled. And what does Bat spit in Clark's eye that brings him down to Earth?
Kryptonite gum.
Kryptonite gum.
That's what Alfred calls it.
I like what he wrote though here. He goes, between Batman and Soups, he says, who wins in a fight? The answer is always the same. Neither of us. I kind of like that. And
I gotta say, I gotta take points off for that one. Points off, Scott. Sorry. Wrong.
We're back in I think we're back in one of, I don't know if it's one of the buildings or the Batcave, but what are they looking over here? Oh, they're monitoring the Justice League and what's going on with them. All right.
Yeah, they're analyzing, the toxin and the variant toxins that each one of them had that were specifically designed for each one.
Yeah. And
While the Justice League is just laying in a hospital, and Nurse Nancy is just looking over them with no armor, they're not strapped down, nothing.
Damn.
Well, they're at Argus, so I'm sure there are some kind of safeguards in place.
That's kind of creepy.
Maybe.
Maybe
It kind of
maybe
baffled
they're
me.
in maybe they're in some kind of room that has dampeners that stops their powers or something. I'm sure there's some tech at play.
It kind of baffles me how easy they got infected.
Yeah, well, he did
I
want to
just-
make the Joker the king. And
Isn't it just airborne? I thought later on.
with a cough or a smile or a laugh?
Or a laugh.
Not a smile, a sneeze. But he's trying to get Julie and Alfred out of there because he knows how dangerous this could be with the Joker coming back. And he heads back to an abandoned asylum after the collapse. So this was talking. When did Asylum collapse? Was that in Forever Evil and then they went to Arkham Manor? You guys remember that?
I believe it was
What was
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Or did it happen in Eternal?
Arkham War, Forever Evil, Arkham War.
Maybe it was in
okay.
Eternal. I forgot. But
It's all so long ago.
yeah, they're all so he's back in an abandoned Arkham Asylum.
And this ties into a lot of the tie-in stories with the other titles too. I mean, this Endgame is a massive story, and it includes what's that other story? I think we cover Arkham Manor?
Not yet, but
No.
we should. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I like the alluding back to, it shows the fly in the spider web trapped. It kind of sets the tone for, Batman's basically, he's walking into a trap. Because in Death of the Family, you always saw these little flies hanging around Joker's dead, zombie mask. And that kind of hints of what's to happen next.
Some good do. I like the dark shadows Greg draws in this scene, where Bat sees who he believes is Mr. Eric Border.
Well, he goes back to Joker's cell, cell 0801.
Yeah.
And Eric Border is an employee at Arkham that Batman has come to know throughout some of this run. He's appeared in previous issues.
Yeah, but there was an interesting thing behind his name where it was like,
yeah.
Eric comes from, what was it, EI, which is a Proto-Norse meaning eternal, and Rakes, which is the Gothic meaning for prince, and Border is a homophone for border, which is an obsolete for jester. No overthinking there at all. Just that was pretty cool. Then you see like the guy take off the makeup and to reveal it's the Joker, and he locks him in the cell.
I like how Joker explained how he was able to kind of pull off this disguise. He was like, there were the muscle relaxers, which wore off a little bit, and then the pigmentation, and then he had to, do his hair. So he put a lot of work into this disguise to make himself look normal for once. And I've always wondered, what the Joker may look like as a normal man, and here we see him in Eric Border.
It was a much easier process for him to look normal in White Knight. He just took those pills and
yeah.
I suggest he just does it that way in the future.
He traps him in the cell. Then
he releases some gas like he always does.
They're also showing outside where it's all starting. People going crazy in the hospitals and out on the streets, rioting.
I love how rotted his face is here when he pulls it out and he's holding it in front of his face.
Like he still has it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that meant he went back to the cave to get it after the end of Death of the Family, and somehow has a new face. But that gets explained later.
Yeah.
Then I like when he pulls the gun out and aims it at Bats, and the bang flag comes out, but bang is spelled with bones. I thought that was kind of fun.
So does that mean that with the blam that he actually shoots Batman in the head right there?
I don't know if it was a shot in the head or what it was.
It could be a tranquilizer. It could be anything when it comes to this guy.
Maybe it looks like maybe poison, paralyzed with poison. Is that what he says in the first page of issue 3? I'm not sure.
So Joker actually lets Batman live at that point.
Yeah, but had just gassed him and left him there.
Oh yeah, because he was infected with something. Because he was fighting something. Because he's in that device that rolls around like a Segway kind of thing. See, in When he's in the Batcave.
Yeah, he's in like a Hannibal Lecter kind of.
Yeah, but this is when it gets crazy because Julia's talking about like how crazy it is out there, and the military CDC police trying to keep it in red areas, and I was like, Scott Snyder should call this Endgame 2020 right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
And the CDC.
Yeah, they kind of talk like how the disease is kind of like droplets. And
Yeah.
it's like suspended in the air for a while.
Yeah, infected person coughs, spits, or laughs, of course.
Now, what's interesting about this? I mean, Scott's wife is a doctor, so I'm sure he gets a lot of medical information from her about, not just the virus and stuff like that, but also some of the medical analogies that he gives throughout these stories like that.
I bet you he bugs the shit out of her.
or he just writes something and shows it to her and like asks it, does this make sense? No, it doesn't make sense. That's so
Wrong.
stupid. It wouldn't work like that.
And they ran simulations with antitoxin. It seems to be working, but the virus resisted, and something in the strain that he's created, the Joker, that's resilient, unnatural. It's his masterpiece. So Joker's not playing around. And they tried every single, I guess, antitoxin that Bats has in the cave.
I also love how they say that it's spread by laughter, and then he kind of breaks it down that a laugh is just a diaphragmatic spasms of coughs. I like how he kind of broke it down a little more scientifically of what a laugh actually is. It's just a series of coughs at a rapid speed. Felt like that was really interesting.
I wonder if it'd be spread by making out with someone too.
Oh, sure.
You got to wear your mask.
Shit, that brisket. Yeah, and then he gets on the phone with Gordon, and I love this part when he gets on that little flying device on his back and goes through Gotham City. Look how that's a nice looking Gotham City right there, man. If you ask me, boy, just some good artwork here. Gordon's held up. I don't know if it's his apartment or a safe house or what. And then one of the
gotta be a safe house. He's got the windows boarded up.
It looks like he has a Slurpee on the table.
It's we find out later that it's Gordon's apartment. He still has that apartment in one of the parts of the city that still has the 200-year-old buildings.
Oh, it's one of where he used to have his mistress, probably, or whatever. And then it looks like it's this Jokerized girl that looks like Harley Quinn peeks through the boards and shit. Pretty creepy. I dig that.
When I first saw that, I thought it was Barbara. I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
that
was what I thought too.
I also like in the beginning of that scene, they show the amount of cigarettes that he smoked, so it kind of tells you like the tension level that he's going through right now.
One of those are Newports.
Hiding his smokes before, and now he's gone through 8 in a row.
Shit.
Just waiting.
Just going in.
Don't forget the Slurpee too, man.
Yeah.
And he's got a gun in his hand and another one in the back of his pants.
That looks like
I
a
can't believe he
tranquilizer
smokes
gun.
filtered, man.
Gordon's
He's not messing around.
And then you see the crowd of bats gliding over the crowd, the riot. And I always thought this was really interesting. With all the detail and thought Greg puts into his penciling, I just want to know, where the fuck are the street borders and lanes? Like, unless that's a one way, but still, there's like
that's a wide ass.
That's a wide ass street too.
Where are the bike lanes?
Yeah, where are the bus lanes and the bike lanes and the potholes? There's something's not right about that shit.
Yeah, it's a big
How
sidewalk.
about
Another point off.
Batman's mask?
Another point off.
Oh,
Like his whole chin is exposed. It's like, dude, you're still breathing stuff in.
Oh shit! Maybe he got some antibodies. Then I love the next pages. That green. Man, FCO killed it in Endgame. I love these colors, man. It really sets the tone of this like it's kind of like a horror kind of a.
He's busting into the hospital.
Yeah, that doctor or whatever that comes out of the door and it's like, you can't be in here. I thought that was pretty creepy as well. This would make a cool animated movie. That does look kind of like a tranquilizer gun that Gordon has. He's on his laptop. Lawnmower Monthly on the laptop. Maybe. Oh, and this is when he starts to like look at really old photos, early century, I guess, of Gotham, and start seeing.
Actually, we know what Gordon would really be on his laptop for. Remember, we know from experience now that during a pandemic, Pornhub gives out free accounts.
Why not?
So that's
Really?
what he's going to be doing. Yeah, they gave out free accounts.
They're not a sponsor. Don't talk about them.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Well, maybe one day.
The comments and the opinions of all members are not
reflective. But you have either early century photos of Gotham, and then you see in the background the Joker from, just in crowds or in windows and everywhere. And now
It's just photobombing.
That reminds me of the beginning of the first It movie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I actually told Scott
Kinda
that.
cool.
I actually told him, he was like, oh yeah, like acting like he didn't think of it, but he probably damn well knew that was.
You knew this was his nod because he was friends with Stephen King's son.
Absolutely.
I grew up with
So,
him.
well, that's why I think it took it from him.
Oh,
But
clearly.
But I like it anyway. And then is that Gordon's kids getting their tonsils out in the hospital, and then you have that hand coming out?
No. Gordon has been researching how this hospital's one of the most haunted places in Gotham City, and every so often, what was it? Every tragedy, he's finding these photos where it appears as if Joker's in the background, and then there's the tragedy in 1946 when the medicine was exchanged for rat poison in the children's ward.
And if you read the backups in each of these issues, it covers this story of one of the doctors from Arkham Asylum being with some of these patients who are claiming they've been contacted by Joker, and he's been telling them this story about how he's been around in Gotham since the start, and he's pulling the strings to make them do something he wants.
This is fun. Then Gordon hears a creak in the closet. Then when he approaches it, this is just so comical. The boxing glove with the spring comes out like bong.
Bonsai.
That's a great tension breaker right there. That's just so fucking ridiculous.
Knock knock.
I like that he did add a Joker gag. You gotta have some Joker gags, man. People don't use Joker gags enough these days. Bats he's right in front of an operating room, right?
Well, now go back to where, just like what Dunk said, knock knock. You see these eyes under the bed. Remember in Death of the Family where Joker told Gordon he hangs out under his bed and listens to him?
Yeah.
So he wasn't lying. He really does hang out under his bed.
That's great. It's like, I love that.
Oh yeah.
I love the horror element to it. I love the tension. It's just so good. Greg brings it to life. We're in front of the operating room. Bats enters.
He has finally located the outbreak monkey of this infection.
How did Bats just get there? He was fighting off a whole crowd of people and doctors before.
Yeah, well, they're doctors. They're a bunch of weenies. He just punched them in the mouth and they were done.
And then he sees Joe Chill come out of there.
Yeah, Joe Chill is the patient zero. He's the first person that Joker infected.
And then he turned the ward into Crime Alley.
Yeah.
So I thought this was like a hallucinating bit, but I don't know, it's just so surreal because you have Duke come out with his parents, right? And it's pretty strange. And then we cut back to the Joker crawling out from underneath Gordon's bed, talking about new gags. He snaps his fingers and the drapes or the curtains fucking catch on fire.
Yeah, he explains that he just used gasoline and has flints in the bottom of his shoes.
We're back in this makeshift crime alley.
So does this crime alley pretty much is where he realizes he knows where Batman realizes he knows who he is for real.
For real.
Appears that
because he thought that in Death of the Family he had an idea like he could know, and this one it's like he fucking knows.
So Gordon's about to shoot the Joker.
One thing I don't get here, like when when he first pulls the gun on him, he's pointing it at him and just giving orders. Of all people, once you get a gun drawn on this guy, why aren't you just shooting?
I'm right there with you.
You gotta talk.
Why don't you just empty the clip at him immediately?
Because he's like, wait, I gotta stop and let Scott write me a couple of paragraphs while we have this altercation.
When he eventually does it, he makes it sound like when he actually unloads on him, he's calling Batman and he's saying like, I did it, I had no choice, he came at me. Like almost as if he didn't want to because he doesn't want to kill or doesn't want to kill Joker. Man, I don't know.
You like that serial number on the gun? You think it means anything? 181935.
I was thinking about that.
That might be the word count for the last 2 pages of the book. Do you like that donut on the table? What kind of donut do you think that is?
Looks like an original.
Yeah.
Cream filled.
Yeah, that looks like an old fashioned.
Yeah, it does look like an old fashioned.
What is he saying about so Bullock?
Goes well with his 8 cigarettes, I guess, yeah? And his black coffee.
He would get an old fashioned donut, wouldn't he?
Oh, man.
At least get a glaze, bro.
What a waste.
Fuck, what a fucking waste. He's such
trying
a
to stay off
cop.
the sugar, but
he's such a
trying to stay off
fucking
the sugar,
cop,
but he's not
dude.
trying to stay off the fucking cigs. What did he say about Bullock? He was like something about Bullock tried to. Never mind, because Bullock sounds like he got infected, right?
Bullock's trying to eat the rest of that old fashioned.
Trying to pull him off.
I like the next page of the panels alternate between warm and cold temperatures of color, like the blue and the red orange, right? And then bats jump.
Batman's trying to stop the family from dying at the hands of Joe Chill in the hospital, while Gordon is just standing there with a gun.
Just holding his gun.
So my question is when the Joker chops that desk in half, what happened to the donut? Like, and the laptop and everything. Where the fuck did everything go?
That's what really pissed him off.
That's
what
why
really pissed Gordon off.
That's why squeezing
I
that
wanted
trigger.
that donut.
That old fashioned.
It's a really fat thought.
They got and then he showed Joe Chill and Gordon shooting at once. That was a pretty nice touch.
Yeah, these are great parallels, and I think obviously, like you said, like the color really captures the emotion of both scenes happening at the same time.
Yeah.
The little play on the word chill, kind of like cold, obviously, and then Gordon's in this inferno with Joker, so I think he just crushed it with the colors. These are just great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this part's so twisted when they're walking out and they're walking by the room full of babies.
Yeah, the Joker
and the little incubators there. Yeah, they're all infected.
I like how Greg drew bats there. That flying device is a shield as well, I think. And that's so fucking badass, that drawing of Batman right there. Gordon is he thinks he killed the Joker with the gun.
That's what happens when you celebrate too early, man.
Yep, that's what happens when you don't finish that old fashioned, boy.
I just love how he's
when you make a phone call in a flaming room.
I know he's your apartment's on fire, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna pick up the phone."
It's like that meme with the dog sitting there in the flaming room. Said, "This is fine.
This is fine." He looks like he's like talking to his crush. He has his hand on his hip. He's like, "Hey, babe."
Batch jumps out of the window with Duke with the flying device on. They're out. And then he's on the phone who he thinks it was with Gordon, but it's actually the Joker. Cut to page 1, part 4. Beautiful drawing of that splash when he's flying over the city. You got those old buildings with New Gotham in the background. I like that touch.
I like, out of everything on this panel, on this page, what draws my eye is this light, the light post. Because I always wondered, I was like, how did Greg come up with that design? And then when I visited New York, I actually saw some light.
We have some of those
posts just like that.
Do you see that the guy's wearing a BLS shirt on the ground over there? See?
Yeah.
Yeah,
the guy with the big beard.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen Capullo without a BLS t-shirt on or a hoodie.
Yeah.
That's such a great splash. That's how it is, like old Gotham and New Gotham. New Gotham's in the background with that modern architecture, whatever. But FCO, man, he killed the colors in this series. So good. So they're gliding over a burning Gotham, and they crash into an apartment.
And he ShamWows some infected people.
Yeah. The bubble. They're running. Oh, I guess they're in the hut where Gordon's at, and fucking Gordon took an axe to the chest from the Joker. Oh shit, that's gonna sting.
You should have seen the other guy.
Yeah. And it looks like Gordon was Gordon infected as well. Yeah. And then Julia Pennyworth shows up out of nowhere with I guess a tranquilizer. That is the biggest first aid kit I ever seen. Oh, I guess it is a kind of a Gordon's house, but that is one big fucking first aid kit. That's like duffel bag money, boys. Brick City fucking first aid kit bag.
This is an apartment where there was once a knock on the door that turned out to be Joker, and when the door opened, he shot Barbara. So, yeah, I guess you got to have some serious first aid kits in that apartment.
Yeah. You got a nice little fist bump. The Jokerized everyone is just raiding that house right now, or that apartment, so they had to get the fuck out of there. He's on the phone with Dick, right? Is that Dick?
Yeah. This is another thing where if you hadn't been reading the other books that were going on at the time, the events leading up to this, you won't really understand what's going on with Dick. So this is post Forever Evil, where the world believes that Dick Grayson is dead. So he had been doing that whole secret agent thing with Spiral.
Yeah.
Thank God, too, because Jesus fucking Christ, I was tired of him. Tired of him.
They're running. Then he has to face a fucking tank. National Guard tank. Fucking blasting at him and shit. That's crazy.
And this is also where they're talking about the different blood samples that they've been able to analyze, and how the thing that has been infecting everyone is the inverse of what was found in Joker's blood.
And they were talking about the concoction, like there were 3 doctors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about Helfer and Dr. Death, and he's like, blast from the past, I know. Paul Decker, Doctors 3.
Paul Decker is actually Crazy Quilt. Who this is his first New 52 appearance, I think, and he sort of got a rebooted origin story in this. I believe his original origin story was something along the lines of he had been blinded and was given new experimental eyes or something, but they allowed him to only see in these crazy colors that drove him mad.
Is that the artist too? Is he the one that's the artist that Bats goes to visit, or is that?
Well, he came from a family of artists, I think, was his old origin.
Because he's in like a quilt in this, right? When
yeah.
And they're talking about like regeneration and immortal creatures, and just how they broke the code, and he was a genius but crazy at the same time for being able to do it, but he pretty much didn't have it. It was had more to do with the Joker. That's a nice way to incorporate crazy. And he's an artist too, so he's like obsessed with immortality. So he has a picture of Roz coming out of the fucking Lazarus pit, a painting of that.
Yeah, he's also got one of Vandal Savage.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. And he also did one of a bat creature looking over a town. So maybe that.
Yeah. And he tells Batman that he used to think that he was one of them.
Yeah.
Like that Batman was another one of these immortal things.
And then he alludes to the Pale Man that was been in Gotham ever since it came to be, and that could be the Joker. So that was kind of like an interesting little side road over here. Until Bess throws him out of the window when he's hanging butt ass naked like Chris Cuomo out of the window, holding onto the quilt.
We passed the part where Joker's swimming.
We skipped Joker's swim, yeah.
Yeah,
did we
got stuck.
never got a figure of Joker in this in his 50s style swimming trunks here, did we?
I love that when he's, you know what he's doing, right? Well, we didn't get up to that part yet, but looking at this now, he's swimming underneath to get to the Batcave. But
oh shit.
Yeah, I just love how creepy it is as he Very very horror like the way he's getting closer and closer to you.
You think Joker could be in the Olympics? I mean, he's that's like 5 miles of swimming right there.
Like, fuck you, Michael Phelps.
This was really creepy when Crazy Quilt or whatever said, he had a syringe from the Joker, and he thought it was, I guess, whatever grants immortality, right? Mm-hmm. Or regeneration, and it kind of like did the complete opposite, and he just like rotted away instantly, which it's pretty fucked up. So that's the death of Crazy Quilt. The city's still on fire with the Jokerized population. And then Bats pays a visit to the Court of Owls.
Did garner the info he was after?
Yeah, it was info in terms of...
It's huge, yeah.
I don't know. I was like, because he thought they had something similar to how they regenerated or brought Talons back to life or reanimated them, but it wasn't what the Joker had. They said that whatever it is,
it's a fucked up version.
The Joker's body. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna pull out the big guns like the Court of Owls or Gentleman Ghost. You can't tease us too quickly, man.
But he learns what he needs to from fighting. What was the?
That Scarecrow Talon.
Talon.
Uriah.
Talon. Yeah.
Uriah Faber.
Oh, okay. Here's
Uriah Faber.
Here's one really cool thing.
Tell by the chin.
I'm on the page where he throws the batarang up to that sculpted skyline, and look at that batarang. That thing has like fucking like headlights coming out of it. That's fucking sick, man.
It's nice and big and thick. It's nice and big and thick.
That's a cool fucking batarang. And that's a cool fucking Talon as well.
This is Uriah Boone, and he's fighting, and he's asking him if the Pale Man was active in Gotham in his time.
Oh, look at that. Look at those colors, too.
Does he ever face off against Uriah Faber in the first Court of Owls?
I guess the Court of Owls can rock well in this story. That was kind of cool. You know what's even cooler is when Bats resurfaces to Gotham from the sewers, he's coming out of a very Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style brick tunnel from the sewers. That's so TMNT. What do you guys think of Greg's treatment of the cityscape at night while all this is going on throughout the story? What do you think? Like,
could have used more boobs.
So good. This is cool. Joker emerges from the water, right? And he has that cool like purple and green Joker-esque backpack on. Yeah. A card floats
and we can
in the
see
water.
We can see all the damage that he took from getting through the all the security measures that were there to keep anyone from getting through.
My question is, to the left of him, what's that little propelled device? Is that a little thing that helped him get over there?
It's an assistant.
Yeah, it looks like
they didn't show it. I like those little, those little things.
I was thinking about something. I wonder if issues like this and like the first one of the series ever have to just be edited down because there were going to be too many pages. Like, could there have been a version of the first issue of the story where we saw him fighting Victor, Hal Jordan, but that stuff just had to be axed to make the issue fit in the page count.
Axed, no pun intended.
Is there a director's cut or like extended with a script somewhere on this thing or no?
You're asking for the other Snyder cut.
Snyder cut.
Snyder cut.
Indeed.
There's no special edition of this, or is it just in a omnibus?
I don't know.
No, you got the trades, you got the omnibus. I don't know if there was any extended piece of it, but Greg does like.
Does anybody have the hardcovers? I don't know if those.
I got the hardcover.
I got the hardcover right here.
Because these, I remember these at the time that these were coming out. That was back when DC was putting out the hardcover of each volume, and then like 5-6 months after the hardcover came out, they would put out the trade paperback.
The flaccid cover.
Yep, all floppy.
Like that
floppy.
The hardcover just has the variants in the back.
Yeah, that's how we got.
Yeah.
Oh, this series had great variants too. They were all
amazing.
Andy Kubert.
Yeah, there was that one where you see Joker through the keyhole in his Killing Joke getup with the gun.
Yeah. That was really popular. That one I remember.
Hawaiian shirt.
You talk like that all the time.
So you got
looking through the bunghole.
You got the Joker The Joker's in front of the original Red Hood, and he's like, "Oh, you kept it," and then Alfred just blasts it with a shotgun from behind.
Hell yeah, Alfred.
Big Al's getting it in. And this,
How does that not kill him?
Well,
he shot the helmet, not the Joker. People
because of Dionysus
are hitting him too.
People believe at pointing guns towards the Joker, but not shooting him in this book for some reason. Like just
he does get hit, but it's like a shotgun, so it just sprays and
yeah. But then you have
how fucked up does Joker get in this?
I don't know, but he fucking takes that little machete and or that little just chops off Alfred's right hand.
That's the other part. It's like, dude, like Alfred was aiming a shotgun at him the entire time, and he's getting closer to you. Yo, just continue blasting him.
But he couldn't.
No, he was hiding behind something
when
Alfred
dark.
was trying to get him. Yeah,
he just crept through the dark where he couldn't see him.
Damn.
It's been a rough go for Alfred in this point in time, though.
Yeah, he didn't die though, so who knows?
So we.
But did you die?
Did you die though? No, we're good now.
We cut over to the parade. The Joker brought the Batcave's dinosaur out and put Joker makeup on it on top of a float.
This is so Batman '89.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. But here's my other question again: as good as Greg is in attention to detail, what is up with that wide ass road with not one lane, not one pothole, all that attention to detail, and you have this random wide ass road? Like what the fuck?
You know, he had a really tight deadline, and he didn't have time.
You're putting it all on. You're putting it all on Capullo, but that goes to the inker too. He probably told him something. Probably told him to fill in the blanks. You know what I mean?
That goes to the Gotham City planner, not those guys.
Yeah, those balloons remind me of the 1989 Batman movie.
Is that Gordon's face on the Joker card?
Where's the Joker card?
No, in the middle.
No, it just looks like a traditional.
Well, if you
from
want
or a glimpse,
has
maybe.
glasses.
Well, you have if you look at the building, like if you look at right above the dinosaur's back, those billboards or whatever there, you have looks like the Joker's on top and Owl's
and
second.
the owl. Yeah.
And I can't see the letters on the DA something. Then I don't know what it goes on to. So.
Like the last float in the parade, you've got people in the Thomas and Martha death outfits. The giant skulls on their heads.
Yeah, and there's a building on fire down the road.
I just love those zoom in panels where you just see half of Joker's face just mangled. You know, like
yeah,
it just looks like a disease hanging from him.
That COVID.
Then the next page, you got everyone fighting, and they're actually wearing the masks.
They're wearing the masks.
They got the masks on.
They're wearing masks.
They're not social distancing, but they're wearing the masks, so that's good.
Even Red Hood's got the mask.
Red Hood's got 2 masks on.
About the mask.
You got 2 masks.
You got to double up, bro.
There was a part we sort of went past when he was talking to Crazy Quilt at his place. When he's explaining, the connection between Joker and Roz and Vandal Savage, and he tells Batman that he thought he was one of them, that he thought he was a Barbados. So that's sort of foreshadowing.
Oh yeah, the
metal,
yeah. And you have the Bat family there. Then he brings in Rogues Gallery with Penguin, Scarecrow, Croc, Bane, Clayface, Ivy, and exposed arm Freeze.
He just knew about this arrangement that they had, that the night that Batman died, Joker was going to turn on the bat signal, but it was going to be an upside down bat, and that meant Batman was dead, and they were all supposed to arrive at. They were all supposed to meet at Ace.
And Bane's looking for one last match, as if there was any time for that.
But I love how Harper's trying to stare Bane down or up.
What about that cover for the last issue there, where Batman is fighting that Joker dragon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is the like the stained glass deal
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was based on a church by Greg's house at the time. So it's a play on a biblical image where that was used on a stained glass window on a church that he was familiar with.
Nice. So the whole parade's going crazy. Everyone's going at it with these Jokerized people. A lot of characters in this, and then Bane throws bats towards the Joker, where the Joker whips out a chainsaw. Oh, but even before that, you have Joker dancing with that skeleton what's supposed to be Martha's dress on, and got poison ivy wearing the mask. There you go. So, cut over. That's
even
cool.
Scarecrow's got the mask too. Shit.
Got the mask. Joker. That's a cool image with Joker with the chainsaw. It's a purple chainsaw with purple. I love that shit. And I guess he whips out some kind of sound device that makes everyone have to cover their ears. And then he has like bats on his knees, only to reveal that it was actually Dick Grayson in the cowl.
Yeah, and this is where we are seeing for sure that he knows who all of them are, because he doesn't recognize it just as not being Bruce Wayne. He recognizes it as Dick Grayson.
Yeah, and then while this is going on, Bats is pretty much going underground to track down what is pit of. Is it Dionysium or?
Yes.
Yep.
Dionysium.
Yeah, and that's a lot of it too, man. Shit. That's that vaccine right there, boy. Fuck.
And it's cool. It sort of looks like he's found a Lazarus pit. Looks similar to that.
Yeah. It's had the colors in this book I love so much. And there's a huge explosion, and all of a sudden the Joker's just able to show up out of nowhere. He moves really quick. This was an interesting part. When they're going at it, and he's just slashing away at Batman, and then you have like 2 daggers in his back with a smile cut on his lower back. Yeah. I remember that was from something else, but I don't remember what. But that was done before. Scott took that somewhere. I forgot where it was. But they really go. It really gets bloody in this one. It really nods back to Death of the Family. Like they just underground cave, going at it toe to toe, and yeah, it's a really good fight, especially visually.
And as we come towards the end of the fight, we see Bruce calling Joker's bluff, because he's been setting up this whole thing, acting like he has this chemical running through his body, and he is immortal. He's been around all this time, and anything that Batman does to him, he just heals from it.
Yeah.
So Batman starts calling his bluff and says, "Well, nothing that I've just done to you is going to matter. Just stay here with me for a while, and I'll die, but you're going to be fine."
Yeah, I like when he throws the playing cards at Batman, like 5 at once. And gets one in the eye, and then just going at it. And then
he has a little DKR homage to it. Real quick.
The reverse DKR.
Yeah.
And he bites his ear, some Mike Tyson shit.
Yeah.
There's no rules in a street fight, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of DKR
nods
in
this
this
face
one.
is so mangled, man. It's like
again, and then I like them. They're both laying down next to each other in the pool of blood that forms a broken heart. I thought that was interesting. They continue to go at it. He's trying to stab him, and then a piece of the fucking pointed rock falls on the Joker's back. And they're just laying there, and I like what Bat says, because they're radioing. Julia's radioing him, talking about how his vital signs are pretty much going down, and he's just, Bat says laying there, it's like, "I'm just going to rest here a little while with my friend." I kind of love that part. And she reels the Dionysium back up, because that Dionysium was in that little capsule with the bat on it, right? That she was reeling out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get 2 weeks later when everyone's shouting the bat signals in the air because Bats is gone, and Alfred's in the hospital, not really even wanting to pay attention to it because he thinks Bats is gone. And he left him he was talking about how Bats left a really strange note, cryptic note for him, with just 2 letters, H-A, ha. And then final scene cuts over to the armor lying in the dumpster that we originally saw in the theater, talking about God's coming down to save us. What do you think? Do you think he landed the ending in this one?
Well, as much as you land the ending when it isn't really an ending, because That's the nature of writing a long run like this, is you're never really ending because it always has to lead into the next story, and that's exactly what this is, The end of this is just leading to the very next issue.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before, Robin. This was originally intended to be the end of their run.
Yeah.
And it's actually more almost in the middle.
Yeah.
So the timing of it is kind of unusual when you have the whole collection sitting in front of you. I mean, it's like book 7 of 10 or something like that. Yeah, it was kind of a strange choice of where they put the story, but then it leads back into, what is it? The part where Gordon turns into Batman, and then the whole almost a rebirth of Batman eventually.
Mm-hmm. And they when we start getting back to when we get into Super Heavy, and we see those sort of reformed versions of Bruce and Joker, that's where the end of this story is coming back into play, because they were down under the ground there with the Dionysium.
So 5 scale. Let's go down the road. Tom, out of 5 Trump-supported In-N-Out burgers.
Let me see here. I would have to give it probably a 3.5.
Whoa, shit. Whoa.
Got to give it up to, if I'm using Cordovals as a measuring stick. Nothing against Scott, but 3.5 might be a little low. I'd say 3.9, 4.1.
Not too bad. Close to
good people on both sides.
Very generous. Very generous. You'll be very famous. Very famous after this.
All right, a Grump out of 5 Lysol cans.
Man, I don't know. I guess, all right, I'll go high with this one. I'll go 4.5.
Damn! Oh,
wow.
Damn!
Jesus,
I didn't see that one
Scott
coming,
right
man.
now. I'm Scott has to know this just happened.
Damn.
I just read it 3 weeks ago again, and I read it today, real quick. Outside of the usual things that annoy me about, the team, it was good. The fight, the Justice League fight was cool, and the horror elements were really cool.
Oh shit! Damn.
There was just that one part Joker had the axe. It reminded me of The Shining, and there's another part where he comes up out of the fire, and those horror parts are really cool. And it's cool to see Crazy Quilt. That was throwback. I just wish they'd throw Jason Todd into it a little bit. But it was good. It was really good.
Damn! Wow, it's great. It's crazy.
And then the way you guys were just talking too, you honestly could have put this story. I would have put it closer to the end.
Yeah.
Several times in the past, writers have talk about putting the toys back in the toy box, and I thought this story would have been good for that, to kind of sort of kill them off, but.
I don't remember what the change was, why it went from being the end of their run to not being. I don't know if they'd changed plans on the direction of having a new creative team, or if they just wanted Scott and Greg to stay on longer because it was still selling so well. But it feels like it would have worked better if it was the end of their run.
Yeah, I think
we didn't see Joker again in this run, right? At all. I forget what even happened to him.
No, I don't think so.
No,
because I remember.
He's just more of a support character, when him and Bruce have conversations in the park on the bench.
Yeah.
Where he's normal Joker and Bruce is not yet Batman,
right.
and it's almost and Joker's like, I think he tells him a story or something like that, and he's just like, at one point it's almost like they know who each other are, and even Joker's like, don't go back to being Batman, because if you go back, then I will go back.
He doesn't come back around again until The Forge, which was like a metal prequel.
Yeah, that's what I remember people asking when Metal started, saying, "Oh, how did Joker get back to being Joker? We didn't see him again after Superhit."
Batman stuck him in the cave because he caught him. Caught the little fucker.
Yeah.
Got you, bitch.
I think
I got to redact.
He's like writing formulas.
I think Grumps rated this higher than Court of Owls.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
He said Court of Owls like a 3.5.
This is crazy tonight, man.
This has little, the superhero battle royal, the fucking.
2020 just fucking keeps bringing it.
I know. This is crazy.
I gotta redact my 3.5 and give it a strong 4.1 because I just flipped back through the final fight between Batman and Joker, and all that gory shit was awesome. So
yeah.
Well, what about the Dope Night dunk out of 5, boy?
Out of 5 360s, man. I don't know. Grumps just said everything I wanted to say. I was thinking 4.5 as well.
Wow,
with,
that shit's high.
A lot of like I liked it a lot better than Death in the Family because this touched on a lot of things. It's kind of like the end of a movie where like so much is going on, but it's like it all ties in. You got the Court of Owls. You have homage to 89, homage to DKR. The Joker's in the Batcave. Alfred didn't die, thank God. There's so much going on, and it's like every page you flip, it's like you're excited to see what else is going to happen. And 4.5, man. I think it's an amazing story.
Shit. All right, Gramps. Out of 5 lawnmowers in Texas.
It didn't get out of second gear.
Too much words for Gramps.
This is crazy tonight, man. This is crazy.
I mean, yeah, there are some real awesome, cool parts in the story, but I don't know. I feel like, yes, if Batman has to explain what's happening while he's doing it too much in the story, it loses it for me. I think the artwork was really cool in some places. Like you said, the colors were great. Danny Mickey did an outstanding job with the inks, but I don't know. It doesn't really resonate with me like it does for others, and that's fine. I mean, that's the beauty of comics, is that we all have our opinions and we likes and dislikes.
Shit's getting
this
crazy.
Is the one I felt like he didn't do that too much in this story, but I don't know. And
there's a lot of.
It's annoying.
This is a thorough ass review, folks. This is why you tune in. This shit is crazy. All right, Robin.
This is a 4 for me. It doesn't quite do it for me quite as much as Death of the Family, but still a lot of cool elements. The Joker planting those fake photos to make it look like he had been around throughout the history of Gotham is a cool idea. So it's cool to see those ideas and think that maybe that's happening for a little bit, but then to actually not have to deal with that being a reality by the end. You don't have to now go on thinking, okay, from now on we have to remember that Joker is immortal. So not having that be now written into continuity, you can just enjoy it in the moment for just being a novel idea. And just overall, it works for me, but not quite as much as Death of the Family did.
Interesting. All right, teasy boy.
Believe. I'm kind of back and forth. I kind of want to give it a 4.5, but the more and more I think about it, I feel like there was a lot of disconnects in this story, and I felt like he did jump around a little bit, but I like the whole exploration about potentially how Joker could always, like Robin just said, like he can be immortalized. And to me, I was like, man, it would be kind of cool if there was a whole ideology of maybe that the essence of the Joker could jump to other people, and just have it always exist through time. I felt like that could be really exciting. But overall, I thought it was really good. Again, the horror aspect was really I love how Capullo drew Joker. Just no matter what, he was half mangled and he kept just moving forward, and he just kept getting stronger as he was fighting Bruce. So I really enjoyed that. And I like how even coming off of Death of the Family, how you thought Joker kind of separated everyone. At the end of the day, they still kind of came together for Bruce. When they thought that this was kind of his last night. But I would say I'll be a little generous. I'm going to say 4.5.
Damn.
Yeah, a little generous. 4.25. Let's go there. Let's put it down the middle.
Huh.
But no, yeah. Overall, I thought it was interesting and not as good as Court of Owls, but I felt I enjoyed this one better than Death of the Family.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah. So for me, I absolutely love the art in this so much. I think the color palettes that FCO was using, architecture, zombie ass, Jokerized, all owls, quilts, that flying thing. The art did so much for me in this one. I'm a visual person. I think the ending was a little too similar to Death of the Family, fighting more in the cave. Even though it's cool, I don't know, and it was a little abrupt. You definitely lose points for Bluebird. It's like I'm just gonna slice.
I was waiting
him
on that.
1 point.
I'm going for a 4.4 out of 5.
Okay.
And I love Endgame. Endgame is my second favorite story, but I think it's I don't know, man. The art in this one is just something, I don't know. I just love the art, and
I think
it can make a good
Capullo's-
animated movie too. I think this could make a really good animated movie.
I forgot to mention that I liked Capullo's Batman and Batsuit, and this is the Rebirth suit, right?
Is it the Rebirth? No, this is
think
still New
so.
52.
This is N52.
Oh, it's not. Okay, well, fuck. I don't like that suit, so he made it look good. I was gonna say
That's
that,
true. I didn't. That's a good point. I didn't like that suit either.
Yeah. So I did really like this. I feel like he finally settled into his Batman look in this, because there's like multiple facial expressions that he makes all throughout this run, all throughout Endgame.
Yeah.
And it felt like, oh, this is okay. This is his Batman, like, settled now.
And
But it's funny how, like, I'm listening to all of us kind of like talk about it and critique it. I'm like, damn, we're fucking critiquing this thing. Everyone gave it almost at least a 4 out of 5, except for Gramps. So as bad as we critiqued it, we still really fucking love it, I guess.
I mean, I like you have some fresh things in it. I like the Justice Buster idea. I like the flying device he had. I like, seeing that like Joker swimsuit thing. It's they are playing with and trying new things. And I like that Talon. Or it just, there's a lot of different things in this when you really flip through it. Quilts, I think he actually incorporated quilts pretty well too. I think I think it does a lot. I just like I said, just now that I think about it, the ending was just really similar to Death of the Family, but
is this one absolute worthy?
For me, yes, because of for me it is, but I think Death of the Family Absolute is next. I think they're putting that one out next, from what I've heard. This was before, I think, shit hit the fan, but that was supposed to come out. So,
I like how we were talking before, how when you were talking about they were trying to wrap everything up, but they still kept things a lot open. And this has been a theme throughout Snyder and Capullo's career with Batman, where I feel like they just can't say goodbye because the fans support them so much. And obviously, like Tom said, there's money at the end of the day, there's money on the table, and it's a little hard to say goodbye to that. But we've already seen this 3 or 4 times, and they actually just did that again with Last Night on Earth. This is like a love letter. This is our last run with Batman. And it ended, and then 3 months later, we're hearing about new metal coming out. So this is like Conor McGregor retiring for the 3rd time. Like, these guys are like,
you know what though? Like I said, I think there was a hashtag too, and it was
like, it makes me laugh, but
for me, it's like hashtag I'm here for Capullo art, and I think that's kind of like my policy. Like, you could keep spinning it off in these fantastical ideas, these medieval ideas, whatever, but I just love Greg Capullo's art, so I just can't complain. I mean, I like Metal. I like that we have the Dark Knights and the Batman Who Laughs and things.
Right.
They did that. I wish they would do more with Bloom because they started him, but I mean, I'm not really complaining about more work from them.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Snyder, no matter what, he always keeps the door a little open. Just like after Metal, I
He's
knew
a
it was a
good
Justice League
salesman.
story, but yeah, I mean, listen, he's a good brand ambassador, but at the end of Metal, you knew it went straight into Justice League, and then you kind of got a little rest from Batman. He's a smart writer, and some people complain that he doesn't finish, but I think that he likes to keep things kind of open just for a new canvas for his next project. So, and no matter what, Capullo's supporting him, and the art is great. So, I guess.
What's like before we wrap it up? Out of the New 52 run, what's everyone's favorite story arc in the New 52 Batman run? Only based on the art. Like, what's your favorite art? So, yeah. So I'll go down the road again. Tom, what arc in the New 52 Batman run do you feel has your favorite art?
If I had to put one cover, like I'll give you this. I'll make it even more specific. One cover for all of New 52 Batman. I want to say it's issue. It's either between. It's like 3. I don't know if it's issue 3, 4, 5, or 6. The one where it's the bat owl on the cover and he's making that creepy ass hand and made the statue of it recently.
Yeah. The bat creature.
That's my favorite fucking cover of New 52
That's also
Batman.
going to be a black and white coming out. There you go.
Oh, shit.
That's in my opinion.
So,
that's my favorite.
What about you, Grump?
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, the Batman title or the Batman books?
Well, it could be the arc, or if you want to choose a cover to make it easier, that's fine too. Yeah.
All right. I mean, the art in the Endgame was pretty good. The art and the color and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Endgame.
Nice. Yeah, I love that.
It just had a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it did have a lot of flavors, like the daytime scene with the Justice Buster and then the nighttime in the city. Had
Superhero Battle Royal. Yeah, it's all the superhero spots, I think.
Grumps like that. What about you, Dunk?
That's tough. I'm between Court of Owls and Endgame.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I hear you.
I'm right between both those two. I think they were both great stories, and both art was just phenomenal. Especially the covers, just like Tom just mentioned. Like that one cover was just like. I feel like that could be like the cover. Like, that's like the movie poster you would use when you released live action.
Nice.
Believe him.
Believe. What you, Gramps?
Well, yeah, I think you guys have already hit on same things that I would say. I'm a real big fan of the Court of Owls just because I just like that set of characters. They were something fresh and new at that time, and the fact that they can be ongoing and be brought back into Gotham at any time. I really like the artwork, and plus it was the first time Capullo was doing anything, so he was really focusing really hard on bringing his A+ game, drawing a new Gotham and a new Batman that we hadn't seen before. So, yeah, I'd probably say Court of Owls, but I mean there were definitely in his run plenty of other amazing, legendary, epic, issues and covers.
Nice.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
Woo! What about you, Robin?
It might be because it's so fresh in my memory. I do currently feel like it's this one. The colors were just too strong a performance.
Nice. See, I'm making sure we tilt it back towards it. And what about you, TZ? Believe?
I'm gonna have to go with Court. I'm just thinking about one of the best scenes for me is where he's investigating all the floors in Wayne, all the floors that he owns, all the buildings and the 13 floors. And like I told you before, this is one of the stories where Scott really makes Bruce into a real detective, and he celebrates that, like I like every iteration of the floor where there's different time eras of the owls, and I like that little nod to the history of Gotham. And this was one of the first times that someone's ever really did that. So I would have to go with Court, hands down.
Yeah.
Even the part where he's like, in that labyrinth, kind of like trying to navigate himself out, and he's fighting Talon. To me, that's the best.
The only thing that keeps it from being up higher for me is the fact that Greg's Batman really evolved throughout the course of their run, and I just find that I can't help but prefer his later in the run Batman to the beginning of the run Batman.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah,
it's settled up.
It's a tough one between Court and Endgame for me, but Endgame color palettes are just insane. Fucking, I don't know what it is. It's just
it's like more emotion in the colors.
Yeah, the blues and greens in it are just insane, and
it was the same colorist over. It's been the same colorist over the whole time.
I don't remember if FCO did Court. I believe he did, but
he did. Yeah.
But they just went ham. I mean, but you think about it, this is after 0 Year, and 0 Year was very bright. It was bright, so he was changing it up a bit, and Endgame was just like horror. So
I think Endgame has some of the best variants too.
Yeah, damn. We just tilted that vote, boy. Fucking.
And before we wrap up, I just want to make a note here. So today, Mel Winkler passed away. He was the actor who voiced Lucius Fox in the new Batman Adventures. So rest in peace. Pour one out for Mel Winkler.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
All right, everyone. Batman Endgame, highly recommended, even if it's just for the art alone. Greg Capullo, man. Can't go wrong. Bat Force Radio, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey, Gotham dwellers. Make sure to stop everything right now and subscribe to Bat Force Radio. We can be found on iTunes and SoundCloud. Don't miss out. Guaranteed to satisfy all of your Batman and DC needs.